Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Live Strong podcast. If you are brand new here, hello, my name's Livia. I am the founder and head coach of Live Strong, which is a small group and personal training studio in Bennett's Green. And this podcast is all about living your best, healthiest lifestyle. I nearly forgot what I had to say there, but infused with a bit of chaos from my own. And guys, it's a new week, it's a new episode. And our 8-week challenge started this week at Live Strong. I've been talking about it on here. It's called the Winter Push. And essentially, it is a challenge designed to help our clients feel motivated and actually get results during winter, which may sound cliche, but so many people normally drop off from the gym and from their goals. And honestly, what's it called? Seasonal depression? Is that what people call it? People get that, which I sort of didn't really know. I've never been affected by winter. Maybe just a me thing. But I think I've always been a very goal-driven person. So I'm always sort of striving for something with my health and fitness. So anyway, I don't know how I've already got on the topic of me, but what I wanted to tell you is that our 8-week challenge has started this week and it has been a great success. I normally start the podcast with a high and a low, but I've just got a few highs I want to run through today. Hope that's okay with you guys. And if it's not, well, too bad, too sad. I do what I want over here. And yes, the first high is the 8-week challenge. It's gone off to an absolute kicking start. Everyone has been very on the ball. We always get a few people who sign up and then maybe don't really do too much after that, which is fine. That's always part of the process of getting to the point when you're ready to really commit to something, is signing up to something and then not really actioning. Once we move past that, and then maybe next time we try something, maybe a few different methods are in place, our actioning actually happens. But touch wood, so far, everyone has been doing so well. I think everyone in the gym has a little tally next to their name in the board. Wow. I'm not speaking English. That whole sentence was backwards. What the actual helly. What I was trying to say is, in the gym, we have our training boards up. You put a tally next to your name when you've done your session, right? And guys, I think everyone has a tally next to their name. That's literally what I'm trying to tell you. Everyone's been showing up, putting in the work. French kiss. Super proud of the team. It is only day 3, so we've got a long way to go. And this first week or so, it's always the easiest part. But I'm feeling very positive and optimistic about these next 8 weeks for every single member who is on board. That's my first high. Second high, on Sunday that's just passed, our High Rocks team who are competing in the Sydney High Rocks, which is literally 2 weeks away, we did our first sim. So our sim, High Rocks sim, it's sort of like a bit of a trendy catchphrase there, but essentially it is just doing the actual High Rocks, because High Rocks is low-key a scam because it's just a workout. All you're doing is a workout, and yeah, you're versing other people, but you're versing so many people that you're almost versing no one. You know what I mean? You're versing thousands of people. So it's more doing it for yourself than a race. But we did our first practice run, dress rehearsal in the gym, and nearly everyone was there. Not quite our whole gang, but most, I'd say 90% were there, and everyone absolutely crushed it. I'm feeling very positive about the race that everyone is going to run on comp day, or, game day, whatever you're going to say, because everyone flew through their sim. Our runs were a percentage shorter than the K run that we'll do on the day, but we had to run up the hill at the gym. So we ended up doing 6 hill runs. Sorry, it's not 6, 16 hill runs with the sim. So if you sort of take that into consideration, the effort and the leg fatigue you get from running up the hill every time as well, pretty close, pretty similar to the game day, but all the exercises we did 100% and our weights and whatnot, and everyone smashed it. Me and Nath actually had a great time as well. I was feeling a bit down in the dumps when I started. I get very in my head. It's honestly something that I've got worse at. I need to try and get better at. And Nate's been good with me to be like, snap out of it, you're fine. Just calm your farm. Where sometimes you need that. And I think as a coach, you don't get that very often. And honestly, since I've done my bodybuilding show, which was in 2022, so like 4 years ago now. Wow, time flies. Maybe it was 2021 even. I actually don't remember, whatever year it was. But when I did that, I had a coach during that phase. But honestly, in the last 10 or so years, that's the only like year I've had someone sort of motivating me where I haven't just had to motivate myself. So doing this with Nath, even though he's not coaching me and, whatnot, because he's there supporting me and guiding me and, being my teammate, I found it very helpful. And it does make me miss, that concept of being coached and being held accountable and sort of being able to take the step back with your own trajectory, is that the right word, of my health and fitness journey, where I'm always just, I guess, in charge of myself. Does that make sense? So it's been really nice, but we all did really well. So feeling really good. We've got this weekend training, which is still a bit like downsized from last week. And then we are doing one next Sunday, but next Sunday it's going to be like super chill. More just like we're going to just tick the boxes, do a little practices of a few partner things, and that's about it. So we're really on the home stretch now for our training, which is really, really good and I'm super excited about. And then the last high that I want to tell you about is that it was mine and Nathan's 10-year anniversary. It was actually on Monday, but we celebrated on Sunday. Wow. 10 years together. That's such a long time when you think about it. Nate's 29, I'm 28. So we got together when I was 18 and he was 19. So that's a really big chapter and chunk of our life. A lot of our growing into who we are we've done together, which is, it's actually 10 years is crazy when you actually think about it. Such a long time. We went to Ate at Trinity, a restaurant out on the water or whatever, near the other bloody side of who knows where, for lunch. It was so yummy. I haven't been there in like 2 years or something. Really, really yummy. So good. We need to trek out there more. It's like a 50-minute drive from our house, so it makes it like a little occasion. But yeah, we did that to celebrate on Sunday, and then on Monday we just worked and said happy anniversary, like super boring, but that's all. But yeah, 10 years. Very proud of us for, staying together. But also like it's a big deal, like being with someone and learning and growing and evolving together. And obviously we've been married now for 1.5 years as well, so we've decided we're going to scrap the anniversary, like the 10-year anniversary. Like you can't celebrate your bloody dating anniversary when you're married, but we thought 10 years milestone, celebrate, and then now we're going to abolish it. It's been abolished that day, and now we just have the wedding anniversary, because like how many days can you bloody celebrate? I celebrate every day. Every day I bloody wake up is a celebration, but too many dates. Like Nath will never remember all these dates. He only ever remembers them because I tell him. So we may as well get one off the list that I have to tell him about. Let's be honest. Anyway, let's get into today's episode, today's topic, which is going to be very in the know for our challenge people, especially those doing the fat loss goal group. So listen in. So today's topic is me giving you guys 8 tips for staying in a calorie deficit. Now, for this Winter Push Challenge, we've got 4 different goal groups, and one of those goal groups is lose body fat, and those guys are obviously going to be within a calorie deficit for these 8 weeks, and maybe whatever that time frame looks like for them. And this could be something new for people, something that we're reworking, something that people are doing again that they've done in the past. So everyone's sort of at different levels, but there's always a few little tips and tricks to assist you being in a calorie deficit, because it doesn't have to be as restrictive and as time consuming as we may think. Sometimes it is, and yeah, it does take time, and sometimes you do need to make a sacrifice, but that's not what it's all about, right? So starting with tip number 1, and that is planning ahead. Now, this is honestly so important, guys. It sounds like it doesn't mean much, planning ahead, but when you're in a calorie deficit, things come up, the plan changes, I understand. However, if you don't have a plan for when you're hungry, when you're time poor, when you're out and about, when you're with friends, if you don't have a plan, you're literally just relying on your willpower to be able to, in that moment, make a decision that is going to be best for your goals. And unfortunately, sometimes our willpower just won't be able to make the cut. So if you are organized, you are already setting yourself up for success. So this can look like planning your meals in advance, tracking your day before you eat it. So like today, I would track all my food that I'm planning to eat tomorrow. Hopefully, I've also got my meals cooked, prepped if I'm going to work, or I've got the ingredients at home. Like I'm organized with it, whatever that looks like for you. And then, of course, if the things happen in the day and you need to take foods out, swap things in, add things, whatever it is, you can still have the flexibility to do that and, have that balance and do what needs to be done on that day. But you've got a plan going into it. Same with like just having your snacks organized for the day. You might think that it's a better idea to be more reliant on, I'll see what I feel like tomorrow afternoon. No, plan ahead. Put something in there, make it, I guess, a checkbox of discipline for you to be able to stick to the plan majority of the time. But again, if the plan needs to change, that's all right as well. Because again, if you're hungry and you've got to pick something for lunch, I'm sure eating something that's in line with your goals sometimes just will not be at the top of the list. So planning ahead. And obviously there's a lot more that goes into a deficit than just tracking your macros, like keeping in line with the food. That's, doing your groceries, doing your meal prep, planning when you're eating out, like weekend events. Okay, well, I know I'm going to be going out tomorrow. So what does that look like for today? Or what does that look like for the morning? Thinking about all those things, but also with your training as well. Planning ahead, locking in your sessions, looking at your schedule. That's number 1. Number 2, prioritize your protein in every meal. Did you know the protein is literally going to help you stay fuller for longer, guys? Protein is going to do that. So if you're not having a good amount of protein in your main meals, we're having issues. And obviously we have calorie or macronutrient targets to reach. You might be thinking, well, I've got to hit my bloody protein. But some people will leave it all to dinner, or they'll leave it all in their breakfast, or they'll have this huge protein shake, whatever it is. But no, we want every meal to have protein. Like I said, it's going to help you stay fuller for longer, and it's going to help us be able to digest as well. Having heaps of protein in one meal is going to help with your digestion at all. So a little tip is to build your meals around your protein source. So like, rather than the first thing being like, I'm going to have pasta for dinner, being like, okay, I'm going to have chicken for dinner, and then it might end up being a chicken pasta. That's probably not the best example in the world, but think about what needs to go in that meal so that you can tick those goals, sort of thing. Number 3, team, is eat plenty of high volume foods. Our food selection matters, and we sometimes forget that even though, yes, we can have freedom and flexibility, not everything works. So you can't always eat the thing that you want to eat. Sometimes you've got to eat something else. And remembering that some foods, you get more bang for your buck, right? Like you can eat more of something than something else. And things like our whole foods, our fruits, our veggies, potatoes, those sorts of things, you're going to be able to eat more of them. And as a little example, having like frozen bag chips, like that you might put in the air fryer, they actually don't have the worst macros ever, to be completely honest with you. There's actually some of them that are pretty clean, might be cooked in some better oils and stuff, if you look into them. But as an example, using those chips or having potatoes, maybe you're going to cut the potatoes and put them in the air fryer yourself, you're going to be able to eat a whole lot more of potatoes than you can eat of the pre-made cut chips in the bag. So looking at volume and thinking, hey, well, I'm not eating that much, I'm not eating my normal amount of food. I'm eating in a deficit. I need to be making smart choices. We're going to opt for the potatoes rather than the chips because we're going to be able to eat more. It's going to help us. When we actually eat for a longer period of time, it helps us stay fuller, but also it is just going to literally help you stay fuller, right? That can come in lots of different ways, shapes, and forms. Like our salad, guys, has hardly anything in it. Lettuce, tomato, cucumber, onion, carrot, all these sorts of things. All of our simple salads, hardly anything. So if you're stuck with what to have for lunch, maybe you don't have many macros left for the day or whatever, why don't you make a big ass fuck off salad? Yeah, maybe you even put in your salad potatoes. Like I've made, I think it was like a Caesar salad-y sort of vibe, salad I'd make before, and it'd be like huge salad, like go off, make a big salad, chicken, put potatoes in it. I can't remember what sauce we put on it. I think it was like this Dijon sauce. I should make that again. That was a really banging salad, but I could have this huge lunch in a deficit because I made this big salad. But yeah, maybe if I was having rice with that meal, just rice, veggies and chicken or whatever, maybe I couldn't have as much because the rice would have more calories than the salad. So thinking about how big can I make my meals, how full can I make them if I'm going to be choosing more of these voluminous foods. Number 4 is don't drink your calories. Don't drink them. They're not going to keep you full enough. So if you're picking drinks to have in the day that have calories like a fizzy drink, or you're having lots of sugary coffees or alcohol, these sorts of things, they're taking your calories, guys. And if they're taking your calories, you're going to eat no food and you're going to be very, very hungry, and then you're going to be very, very sad, and then you're going to probably end up eating more because you're going to be hungry. Don't forget, you can get sugar-free options of soft drinks and stuff. You can get sugar-free almost anything these days, to be honest, which may have like almost 0 calories. Again, you can probably be making a more calorie safe option with your coffee order. So rather than having full cream milk, maybe you have skim milk. Rather than having sugar, maybe you have a sweetener. Again, it's not all the time you need to do this, but when you're in a deficit, sometimes you need to be making these little swaps. Number 5 is manage your hunger. Don't ignore it. This is a big one, guys, because everyone has hunger cues. Some of them are real hunger cues and we need to actually satisfy them. Some of them, when we're in a calorie deficit, may not actually be hunger. Sometimes it can be boredom. Sometimes it can just be you're out of routine with your normal eating. So it's important to recognize what our hunger cue is first. But when you're in a deficit, you shouldn't be starving all day. That is not normal. If we are in too much of a deficit, if our body is absolutely starving, then we probably need to make an adjustment to a few things. Potentially, yeah, you maybe just need to be eating more food, but there's maybe other things we need to be thinking about, like the step before, volume foods. Are you actually eating enough quantity, or are you picking really high calorie meals and not being able to eat a lot of food? So are you making voluminous decisions? Are you planning out your meals well enough? Like if you're having your lunch and all your snacks all at once and then you're having to wait 7 hours till dinner, well, like, yeah, you're probably going to be so hungry. But can we plan your meals out better so you're eating more frequently throughout the day? Again, with that protein, are you having protein in those main meals? Are you spreading it out throughout the day to make sure that you're actually using that as a tool to help you stay fuller for longer? Are you eating fibrous foods in your meals? Because that, again, is going to help you stay fuller for longer. Are you staying hydrated? Are you drinking your 2 to 3 liters of water per day? Because, again, that's going to help you stay less hungry. Like I said, hunger shouldn't be an all-day event. Again, it's important to recognize what hunger cue you are getting, but there are ways that we can be smart about our day-to-day planning to help your hunger cues as well. number 6. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Guys, everyone is going to not be on their meal plan or they're 100% on their macros all the time. Like, they just will not be doing that. You're going to have a meal off plan. You're going to have something come up and you're going to have to quickly get something. Or you are going to have a social event. Like, that's life and that's okay. And that might mean that that day isn't 100% spot on perfect. Is it the end of the world? No, it is not the end of the world. Doesn't mean you've lost all your progress. No, it does not mean you've lost all your progress. But it does mean you need to get back on the horse or get back in line with your goals or continue on your journey as soon as you can. For some, that might be the next meal. For some, that might be the next day. But it's only going to ruin your progress if that one meal is going to turn into 2 to 3 to 4 to a day where it could have been controlled better, because you can only control what's in your control. And again, we've talked about being organized as much as we can. But yes, things happen and you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But giving up and being like, I'll start next week, like, that's not doing anything successful. Getting back on track, back in line, back doing the things that are going to make you feel good, they're the things that are going to help you get the results, because no one's perfect. Even though we think we are sometimes, no one is. Number 7 is try and stay as active as you can outside of the gym. So this is your daily movement goal. Mainly, a lot of people focus on getting those gym sessions in. And yes, that's a big step, big deal. You need to be doing that. But they forget about all of the other things that we could be doing to help our deficit and our fat loss journey. You know, doing our walks, actually just going outside. Like, being more of an active human, maybe picking up a little hobby that's going to help you stay outside, riding a bike. A lot of people into bloody pickleball these days, things like that. But improving your everyday activity levels is only going to help you in this calorie deficit phase. And if you're someone who is really active, you're probably going to be able to eat some more as well. So keep that in mind as well. It can make a huge impact. And the last little one that I wanted to talk about is, remember that we need to track our progress more than just the scale weight, because the scales, they are little liars, naughty, naughty boys. They tell us our body weight. They don't tell us our body fat. And guys, our bodies fluctuate. Our bodies fluctuate so much. It can be hydration, hormones, stress, sodium, digestion, when you last trained. It could be absolutely anything. You've been sick, like anything that could be holding weight in your body that could be reflected on the scales. So if you're jumping on the scales too often and you're looking at that number too much, it can be discouraging and it can shift your motivation. It can shift your actions for that day, where realistically, it's not always telling the truth. We can use the scales to see trends over a period of time, but we can't take it as the only point to measure your progress. Think about how else we're going to measure your progress. Maybe it's going to be measurements. Maybe it's going to be photos. Maybe it's going to be trying on a certain piece of clothing. Maybe it's a pair of jeans that you like. Maybe it's going to be feedback from others. Maybe it's going to be just looking in the mirror. Whatever it looks like for you, but we need to be using a multiple method rather than just those bloody scales, because even though they can make you feel good when they look really good, they can also make you feel really shit when they look really bad. And even when they look good, sometimes you haven't lost body fat, guys. Like maybe you've had a really stressful day and you didn't eat the day before or something like that. You haven't lost body fat, but maybe it's a stress response your body's showing in reverse that it can also show with higher numbers as well. So the scales are not the be all and end all. And if you're going to use that as the main method to track your weight, you're probably going to set yourself up, not to track your weight, to track your progress. You're probably going to be setting yourself up for failure, guys. Now, really, guys, they were just 8 quick little tips that should be adding on top of the already knowledge and action plan and advice that you have with your deficit. Like I said, these are just the little sprinkles on top that you could be thinking about that could potentially be helping you be more successful in your deficit, but also in a way that is sustainable for the duration of time that you're meant to be within this deficit. Because remember, you shouldn't be in a deficit forever. And I probably should have said this at the top of the episode, which I forgot, but I think a lot of people think in order to lose body fat, they literally need to be shrinking themselves every single day. Guys, we cannot do that. Like, that is impossible. We should live most of our life at maintenance, our maintenance calorie, our training amount that we can maintain, not in a phase where we are punishing ourselves or where we are hating ourselves or when we are in a deficit. Our deficit is only a phase. It's a phase in our life that we might use to get to a point where we want to be, but maintenance is really where we should be and where we should be feeling our best, because our body is actually working really hard in a deficit and it doesn't love being there. So when you are in that deficit phase, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And even though I want you guys to do it in the most maintainable, sustainable, realistic, happy way possible, there's going to be days that are going to be tough. Like, I've got to be honest with you about it. You are maybe going to have to make a few tough decisions. Maybe you're going to have to put your foot down about, going out for dinner sometimes or having that extra bit of pizza, whatever it is. But it also shouldn't be miserable. It shouldn't be a phase that you absolutely hate. You should enjoy the journey. You should enjoy the phase. But you also need to know it's not a phase forever. And that's for no one. For no one at all. Even if you have a substantial amount of body fat to lose for health reasons, it's still important that you go through peaks and flows. Like, you would be advised by a health professional to do it for a certain period of time before going back to maintenance and then going back into a deficit. You cannot be in a deficit forever. I cannot say that enough. And I think that's what people forget, is that they just are always trying. They always feel like they need to be trying to be in a deficit. Have you tried living at maintenance and how amazing you'll feel doing that? Have you tried it? So that may be a future goal for you, but hopefully these 8 tips have helped maybe give you a bit of inspiration on how you could be maybe planning better, actioning things better, thinking about things better, moving forward in your deficit phase. Let me know if there's any other topics you want me to address over these 8 weeks while we're in this challenge phase, or anyone else listening out there that wants me to address any more gym, fun and fresh topics. But that's a wrap on today's episode, guys. Live Strong Podcast, another episode done and done. Have a fabulous weekend, and I shall see you next week. Bye-bye.